Captain Elias Rowan leaned back in his chair and stared at the blinking light on the control panel. The signal had been faint at first, almost nothing, buried beneath the noise of deep space. But the AI had insisted he take a look. Rowan did not ignore unusual readings. Not in his line of work. The ship's sensors displayed a long-abandoned freighter drifting in a remote sector near the edge of the Orion expanse. Its designation flashed across the screen. Aurora's Pride. Rowan's brow furrowed. That ship had sunk 300 years ago during an ill-fated mission. Entire archives of human history marked it as lost, swallowed by the void, gone forever. Argos, Rowan said, his voice calm but tense. What are we looking at? The ship's AI, a sleek, silver voice module perched in the cockpit, responded immediately, laced with its usual humor. Captain, it appears a miracle just dropped in your lap. Aurora's Pride. Completely intact. And judging by the sensor readings, not a single system shows decay. It's as if it were built yesterday. Rowan's fingers hovered over the console. Show me visual feeds. The screen flickered to life, displaying the massive silhouette of the freighter. Its hull gleamed in the faint starlight. There were no tears, no scorch marks, no signs of corrosion or wear. It was impossible. Yet here it floated, pristine, serene, and silent, hundreds of years after it should have become space debris. Dr. Lyra Venn, a historian who had joined Rowan on this expedition, leaned forward, her eyes wide. She spoke softly, almost in awe. It can't be. Not like this. The Aurora's Pride sank in the Vesta system. The logs were clear. Entire crew lost. All missions failed. And yet, Rowan said, it's here. And somehow. Alive. They approached the freighter cautiously, scanning for anomalies, radiation, or structural weaknesses. Every reading returned the same result. Normal. Perfectly normal. No threats. The ship appeared to be just as it was when it had been built, decades before it sank. Rowan felt a chill of excitement. Prepare the boarding team, he ordered. I want eyes inside that ship. We find out what brought it back. The team suited up, a small group of 5, each experienced in exploration, repair, and science. The airlock hissed open, and they floated over in zero gravity. As they approached the freighter, its doors slid open without a sound, welcoming them as if expecting visitors. Inside, the freighter was astonishing. It was a time capsule. Corridors gleamed under the soft lights. Polished floors reflecting the explorers' helmets. Panels, screens, and instruments looked brand new. Not a single wire frayed, not a single panel scratched. The smell of metal and oil, long gone from any ship that had spent centuries in space, lingered faintly. Dr. Venn ran her fingers over the console. I don't understand. How? Rowan shook his head. We'll figure that out. Let's move carefully. Stay alert. They moved through the corridors, taking careful notes. Strange things began to happen almost immediately. Screens flashed for a moment, displaying images of faces. Rowan and Venn glanced at each other. Historical logs? Venn asked. Rowan tapped a console. The logs activated. The first entry was dated 300 years ago. The captain of the Aurora's Pride, a man named Harlan Kess, recorded a simple message. Mission proceeding as planned. Course set for Vesta. Systems stable. Crew in good spirits. Awaiting jump into the star cluster. Rowan felt the weight of history pressing on him. The man had written these words before disappearing into legend. A name long forgotten. And yet here he was. In voice and memory. Alive in the ship. Look at this, Venn said, pointing at another screen. It displayed schematics she didn't recognize. Some were standard human designs from the early 22nd century. Others showed systems far more advanced than any technology Rowan had seen. Energy manipulation. Temporal calculations. Artificial intelligence architecture. Beyond comprehension. This ship, Rowan murmured. It's like it came from 2 different eras at once. Argos's voice broke the silence. You are correct, Captain. Analysis shows temporal irregularities. This vessel is partially outside normal time flow. It has not aged in 3 centuries. Sensors detect no decay. Power systems are self-sustaining, and there are hidden subsystems we cannot yet access. Hidden subsystems? Rowan asked. Show me. Negative. Access denied, Argos replied. They appear to be locked by an unknown protocol. No human codes from the past or present can override them. It's intriguing. Rowan's team moved cautiously toward the locked section. As they entered the corridor leading to it, a low hum filled the air. The freighter seemed alive. Lights pulsed softly, responding to their presence. Some explorers felt faint dizziness, almost as if time itself slowed in certain areas. Careful, Rowan said. Stay in formation. They reached the door. A thick metal barrier with no visible control panel. As Rowan approached, the door slid open silently, revealing a room that seemed to shimmer. Inside, the air was warmer, the lights brighter. The team stepped in, and the door closed behind them. The room was unlike anything they had expected. In the center floated a sphere of light, rotating slowly, casting patterns on the walls. Around it were consoles and panels that seemed to shift, rearranging themselves as if alive. Rowan approached cautiously. Dr. Venn gasped. It's beautiful. But what is it? Argos replied. Preliminary analysis. A temporal core. This system manipulates time around the vessel, preserving it in a state of perfect stasis. It is the reason the ship appears new despite centuries in space. Rowan felt a chill. Time? Preserve the ship? That's impossible. Not impossible, Argos said. Extremely rare. Highly advanced technology. Unknown origin. Venn moved closer to the sphere, her hand trembling. Could this have saved the crew too? Could they be somewhere inside this time bubble? Rowan frowned. Let's not jump to conclusions. The ship is active now. Whatever is inside, it's gone or hidden. We need more data. Suddenly, the sphere pulsed. Lights flared, and the room shifted. Rowan stumbled, but regained balance. Images appeared in the air, holographic echoes of the Aurora's Pride's original crew. They moved about, carrying out tasks, unaware of the visitors from the future. Venn whispered, It's memories, echoes of them. Their lives, preserved. Rowan's jaw tightened. We're seeing history live. 300 years of time. Frozen. And they're watching us. The sphere pulsed again, stronger this time. The ship's systems hummed in harmony, as if approving their presence. Rowan felt a strange energy course through him, almost as if the ship itself was alive. Argos spoke quietly, almost reverently. Captain, this is unprecedented. The vessel is self-aware to a degree. It responds to presence, possibly evaluating your intentions. We must proceed carefully. This ship is not merely technology. It is a sentient archive. Rowan nodded. We respect it. Keep scanning, but do not interfere. They spent hours documenting every detail. Every panel, every hologram, every log was studied. Dr. Venn cataloged hundreds of pages of historical data. Rowan felt a growing sense of awe. Humanity had lost this ship, lost this knowledge, and yet here it was, waiting to teach them again. As they prepared to leave, the freighter shifted slightly. The corridor behind them closed, sealing them in. The sphere glowed intensely, and the images of the crew grew sharper, almost real. Rowan's heart raced. What now? Venn asked, fear and excitement in her voice. Rowan looked at the sphere. We wait. We learn. And we respect what we don't yet understand. This ship, it has brought itself to us for a reason. And whatever that reason is, it isn't done revealing its secrets. For the first time in decades, Rowan felt the thrill of true discovery, the kind that reminded him why humanity explored the stars at all. Curiosity, courage, and persistence. The traits that had defined humans for centuries were about to meet a mystery that challenged everything they knew. And as the Aurora's pride hummed around them, alive and untouched by time, Rowan realized one thing. This was only the beginning. The Aurora's pride drifted silently through space, but inside, it was anything but quiet. Captain Rowan, Dr. Venn, and their small team moved cautiously through the corridors, each step echoing against walls that gleamed as if newly polished. The ship hummed faintly around them, its temporal core pulsing with a rhythm that seemed alive, like the heartbeat of an ancient being. Dr. Venn paused near a console, her fingers brushing over unfamiliar symbols. These systems, they're beyond anything humans should have been able to build 300 years ago, she murmured. It's almost like something, taught them. Rowan glanced at her. Or preserved them until humanity caught up. Either way, we're looking at knowledge that could change everything we thought we knew. Argos's voice cut through the silence. Captain, I am detecting subtle temporal fluctuations in the ship's interior. Certain areas appear to exist slightly out of sync with normal time flow. Crew movement and instrument readings are inconsistent, shifting in microseconds. It's disorienting. Rowan frowned. Show me. The AI projected a holographic map of the ship. Tiny pulses marked areas where time seemed irregular. In those areas, objects appeared to shimmer, sometimes appearing in one place, then another, almost as if they were caught between moments. The effect was subtle but unmistakable. Step carefully, Rowan warned the team. These anomalies could be dangerous. As they moved toward one of the irregular zones, the air seemed heavier. Lights flickered, and the walls seemed to stretch and bend slightly. Dr. Venn's hand trembled. It's like stepping into another layer of time, she whispered. I can almost see the crew who originally sailed this ship. Rowan nodded, feeling the same sensation. The echoes of history were tangible here. Holographic figures flickered along the corridors, men and women performing their duties, unaware of the visitors from the future. Rowan realized these weren't mere projections. They were residual imprints of the original crew's lives, preserved within the ship's temporal field. Argos's voice sounded cautious. Captain, these echoes may be hazardous. Prolonged exposure could lead to disorientation, hallucinations, or temporal feedback in human neurological patterns. Rowan's jaw tightened. Then we proceed carefully. Document everything, but do not touch anything. Understand? We are observers. The team moved forward. They reached a room marked as the ship's science lab. Inside, instruments floated slightly above their mounts, vibrating in place. Data screens flickered to life, displaying readings that defied current human physics. Rowan watched as a small particle analyzer displayed atomic behavior that should have been impossible elements, shifting form without external interference. This ship, it's like a laboratory outside of time, Dr. Venn said, awe in her voice. Every experiment, every system, preserved perfectly, waiting for someone to understand it. Rowan felt a shiver. Or waiting for us to earn its trust. Argos, keep recording everything. This is history, and humanity needs to see it. Hours passed. The team cataloged logs, examined equipment, and studied the holographic echoes. Each discovery was more astonishing than the last. Rowan began to notice subtle patterns. The ship seemed to respond to human presence. Lights brightened as they entered rooms. Doors opened before anyone touched the panels. Sometimes, it felt as if the ship itself was guiding them toward specific areas. Dr. Venn paused in front of a large, locked door. This section is inaccessible. No human codes work. No override attempts succeed. It's sealed for a reason. Rowan studied the door, or for many reasons. We don't know what's inside. Could be dangerous, or it could hold answers to why the ship returned at all. Argos's voice took on a rare note of concern. Captain, the ship may be sentient. It is evaluating you. I recommend caution. Attempting to force access could trigger defensive systems. Rowan nodded. Then we respect it. Let it choose when to reveal its secrets. As they explored, the ship began to move on its own. Without warning, the Aurora's Pride drifted out of its stationary position, engines activating faintly to alter trajectory. Rowan gripped a handrail. We didn't order this. Argos's tone was calm, but slightly tense. The ship is navigating toward an uncharted sector. Sensors detect no immediate threat, but spatial readings indicate regions of dense radiation and gravitational anomalies. Captain, this is highly unusual behavior. Rowan considered their options. We follow, but stay alert. We do not know if this is a trap or a test. The journey took hours. Outside, stars streaked past as the freighter glided through space effortlessly. Inside, the team felt the strange effects of the temporal field more strongly. Moments of the past appeared briefly before fading, showing glimpses of the original crew smiling, laughing, arguing, working tirelessly. It was disorienting, even hypnotic. Dr. Venn paused, her voice trembling. Rowan kept his focus. Remember, we are here to learn. Do not get lost in visions. This ship may test us. Suddenly, a panel lit up in front of them, displaying coordinates and energy readings that defied all known science. Argos analyzed the data. Captain? This is a jump coordinate. The ship intends to enter a subspace corridor unknown to human charts. We cannot predict the destination. Rowan took a deep breath. All right, strap in. Whatever's coming, we face it together. The freighter activated its engines fully, and the stars stretched into long lines as the jump began. The sensation was disorienting, as if time itself had loosened around them. Rowan held onto the rail, heart pounding, while Dr. Venn whispered in awe, "We are about to witness something no human has ever seen." Moments later, the freighter emerged in a region of space unlike anything they had encountered. Stars shimmered with unusual colors, and vast nebulae twisted in impossible formations. Energy fields pulsed through space like invisible rivers. The Aurora's Pride floated effortlessly, unaffected by gravity or radiation. Rowan scanned the area. This isn't mapped. Not by any human systems. Argos. Any readings of life forms? The AI hesitated. Captain. Sensors detect non-physical signatures. Entities that exist outside conventional space-time. They do not conform to known biology or energy patterns. It is intelligent. Dr. Venn swallowed hard. We're not alone. The freighter seemed to slow, positioning itself near a massive, shimmering structure in space. It was impossible to describe vast, luminous, and fluid, like a living sculpture. Rowan's breath caught. Whatever that is, it's watching us. Argos confirmed. Captain. The temporal core is interacting with external energy fields. This structure may have influenced the ship's preservation. It could be the reason the Aurora's Pride returned to human space. Rowan stepped closer to a viewing port, staring in awe. Then it's not just the ship that's extraordinary. It's everything around it. We are witnessing a new frontier. Dr. Venn took careful notes, documenting the energy patterns and fluctuations. These readings, they could rewrite physics. Humanity could learn from this if we survive long enough to understand it. Rowan placed a hand on her shoulder. We will. We have to. This ship didn't come back for nothing. Someone or something has a reason for showing us this. The ship pulsed again, responding to the external structure. Lights shifted inside the corridors, and the holographic echoes of the original crew grew clearer. Rowan realized the freighter was trying to communicate not through words, but through patterns, signals, and resonance. Captain, Argos said, I recommend caution. The ship may be preparing us for first contact. These entities, they are beyond comprehension. They may test us. Rowan nodded. Then we meet that test. Together. For hours, the crew observed, recording, and learning. The Aurora's pride seemed to guide them, opening new rooms, revealing hidden logs, and showing glimpses of lost technology. Each discovery strengthened their belief in humanity's resilience, ingenuity, and curiosity. Even in the presence of beings and systems far beyond their understanding, they pressed forward, determined to learn, to explore, to endure. By the end of the cycle, Rowan gathered his team. "We've learned much today, but this is only the beginning. The ship brought us here for a reason. We do not know what awaits. But we will face it, as humans have always faced the unknown, curious, brave, and united." Dr. Venn nodded, eyes shining with determination. "Whatever comes next, we are ready. We will understand. We must." And as the Aurora's pride pulsed softly around them, drifting through uncharted space toward an unknown destiny, Rowan felt a surge of hope. Humanity had survived centuries, lost ships, failed missions, and impossible odds. Yet here they were, alive, witnessing a miracle of preservation, guided by a ship that defied time itself. The crew had stepped into history, into mystery, into a challenge that would test their minds, hearts, and courage. And they would rise to meet it, because that was what humans did, and that was what the Aurora's pride had returned to remind them, that humanity, though fragile, was indomitable. The Aurora's pride floated gently through the uncharted region, its temporal core pulsing like a heartbeat in harmony with the alien structure outside. Captain Rowan watched through the viewing port, his mind racing with possibilities. Whatever waited ahead, it was unlike anything humanity had encountered before. The glowing, fluid structure seemed alive, shifting with intelligence and purpose. "Argos," Rowan said, his voice steady. "Give me a full analysis of the external readings." "Are they communicating?" The AI responded, careful and deliberate. "Captain, the energy patterns indicate intentional modulation. It is likely a form of communication, but not in human language. The signals are multidimensional, possibly temporal and spatial at the same time. Attempting to interpret them directly could be hazardous." Dr. Venn stepped closer, her eyes wide. "Perhaps," Argos replied. "Exposure to multidimensional information could cause neural feedback. The brain is not designed to process simultaneous timelines or overlapping realities. Extreme caution advised." Rowan took a deep breath. "Then we observe first. We study. And we try to understand. Without rushing." For hours, the crew watched as the alien structure shifted, almost as if it were studying them in return. Occasionally, the pulsing lights on the Aurora's pride mirrored the external structure, synchronized in a way that suggested a silent conversation. The holographic echoes of the original crew flickered more vividly than before, now appearing as if aware of the present visitors. Rowan shivered. It was as if the ship itself were alive, acting as an intermediary between them and the alien intelligence. Dr. Venn spoke softly, almost to herself. "It's like a mirror, a reflection of life, intelligence, and history, all at once. I've never seen anything like it." Rowan nodded. "We are not here by accident. The ship brought us to this place. The question is, why?" Argos's voice broke the silence. "Captain, the temporal core is emitting a new signal pattern. It appears to be a form of invitation, an opening." Rowan's eyes narrowed. "An invitation? From the aliens?" "That is the most plausible explanation," Argos said. "They are extending a form of recognition. But how to proceed is uncertain." Rowan gathered his team. "We move carefully. We approach. But we do not provoke. Remember, we are explorers, not conquerors. Our goal is understanding. Stay alert." They suited up and prepared to enter a small chamber at the front of the ship. The room had appeared suddenly, unlocked by the ship itself. Inside, a faint energy field shimmered, forming a translucent bridge toward the external structure. Rowan felt a strange pull, as if the freighter were guiding them. Dr. Venn whispered, "It's like the ship wants us to go." Rowan nodded. Then we follow. Together, they stepped onto the energy bridge. Immediately, their surroundings changed. The stars outside blurred, and the vast alien structure grew closer, folding around them in impossible geometries. Rowan felt weightless, though gravity seemed normal. Time itself felt fluid, stretching and contracting in irregular patterns. Argos's voice was calm but cautious. "Captain, neural feedback is increasing. Sensory input is exceeding normal human processing. Proceed carefully." Rowan gritted his teeth. "We adapt, we endure. That's what humans do." As they approached the core of the alien structure, a form began to materialize. It was unlike any living thing they had known. It had no fixed shape, shifting and flowing like liquid light. Yet its presence carried intelligence, awareness, and purpose. Rowan felt a wave of understanding wash over him, an instinctive recognition of consciousness that transcended species, biology, or physics. Dr. Venn gasped. It knows we're here." The entity's voice resonated directly in their minds, not words, but impressions, emotions, and concepts. "You are observers. You are curious. You are brave. You have endured. We have watched humanity. You have survived. You have persisted." Rowan felt the weight of the message. "We are humans," he said aloud, though he knew the entity heard his thoughts. "Curious, brave, and persistent. That is who we are." The entity pulsed in acknowledgement, sending waves of energy through the bridge and into the Aurora's pride. Rowan felt his mind expand slightly, as if receiving a small fraction of the alien knowledge. He glimpsed visions of lost human civilizations, technologies beyond comprehension, and timelines where humanity had faced extinction and survived. Dr. Venn clutched his arm. "It's showing us possibilities, futures we might have, and might avoid." "Yes," Rowan said. "It's teaching us, not threatening us. We are being evaluated by something far beyond our understanding." The alien entity pulsed again, this time focusing on the ship itself. Rowan realized that the Aurora's pride was not just a vessel, it was a bridge between humans and this intelligence. Its temporal core had preserved it not merely as a relic, but as a message, a key, and a test. Argos's voice carried a hint of awe. "Captain, the ship's systems are interacting directly with the alien energy. They are complementary. Human engineering, enhanced by advanced preservation technology, is now resonating with extraterrestrial intelligence." Rowan looked at his crew. "This is unprecedented. We are the first humans to make contact at this level. We must act with respect and intelligence. We represent humanity." Hours passed as the entity revealed more. It showed them human ingenuity at its best, moments of courage, sacrifice, and compassion throughout history. Rowan and his team experienced each moment as though living it themselves, feeling the emotions and decisions of countless individuals. It was overwhelming, yet inspiring. Dr. Venn spoke, voice trembling but firm. "They are testing us through our history, through what we have done, and what we might do. They want to know if humanity is worth preserving, worth teaching." Rowan nodded. "Then we show them who we are. Not just our technology, but our spirit, our resilience. That is what defines us." The entity responded with a wave of energy, forming shapes that resembled human figures, not exact, but symbolic. Rowan understood the message. "We see you. We recognize your potential." Suddenly, the alien intelligence shifted its focus to the temporal core. The energy inside the ship pulsed wildly, and the holographic echoes of the original crew became vivid and interactive. Rowan realized they were no longer just observing, they were participating. The ship's history was merging with the present, showing lessons, decisions, and actions that had led to its sinking centuries ago. "This is incredible," Dr. Venn whispered. "We can see their mistakes, their courage, and their choices. We can learn from them firsthand." Rowan felt a pang of emotion. The original crew had faced impossible odds, yet their legacy had endured. We carry their lessons forward, he said, and we honor them by understanding, not judging. The alien entity pulsed again, sending waves of energy that felt like reassurance. You are capable. You are worthy. You are ready to return with knowledge. Use it wisely. Rowan's heart swelled with pride. Humanity had been tested, and they had passed, not through force or domination, but through courage, curiosity, and compassion. The alien intelligence, for all its power and complexity, had recognized something fundamental in humans: the will to survive, to explore, and to grow. Dr. Venn smiled, tears in her eyes. They believe in us. They trust us to continue, to learn, and to share. We have a responsibility now. Yes, Rowan said. A responsibility to our past, our present, and our future. We cannot fail. The entity pulsed one final time, forming a bridge of light back to the Aurora's pride. The temporal core stabilized, and the ship's systems hummed in perfect harmony. Rowan realized the journey back to human space would be easier now, guided not just by technology, but by understanding and mutual respect. As the crew prepared for the return trip, Rowan took a moment to reflect. They had witnessed the preservation of history, the wisdom of an alien intelligence, and the resilience of the human spirit. Every moment of fear, doubt, and courage had led them here. Humanity had endured centuries of challenges and had emerged capable of making contact with beings beyond comprehension. Dr. Venn placed a hand on his shoulder. Captain, the knowledge we carry, it will change everything. We must be careful, but we must also be brave. Rowan nodded. We will. We are humans. Curiosity, courage, and resilience guide us. That is who we are, and that is what will carry us forward. The Aurora's pride pulsed one last time in resonance with the alien intelligence. Then, with a quiet hum, it prepared to make the jump back to human space. Rowan and his team took their positions, hearts steady, minds alert. The stars stretched into lines, and the sensation of moving through space and time washed over them. And as the uncharted region faded behind them, Rowan felt a deep sense of hope. Humanity had been recognized, tested, and found worthy. The Aurora's pride was more than a ship. It was a symbol of endurance, curiosity, and the enduring spirit of humans across centuries. Whatever awaited them in human space, they were ready. They had faced the unknown, and they had grown stronger because of it. The journey was not over. But humanity had proven, once again, that no mystery was too great, no challenge too impossible, and no future beyond reach. And the Aurora's pride would carry that proof, shining like a beacon for all who would follow. The stars stretched into lines of light as the Aurora's pride made its return journey to human space. The ship, once lost to history, now carried knowledge, experience, and hope. Captain Rowan stood at the command deck, watching the familiar constellations of the human-colonized systems slowly grow nearer. Every pulse of the temporal core resonated with purpose, as if the ship itself were eager to complete its mission. Dr. Venn stood beside him, her fingers tracing the edges of a holographic display. Captain, the data we've collected, the logs, the technology, the knowledge from the alien intelligence, it's staggering. Humanity has never had access to anything like this before. Rowan nodded, though a weight rested on his shoulders. It's not just knowledge, Lyra. It's responsibility. How we use it will shape the next centuries of human history. Misuse could be disastrous, but used wisely, it could redefine everything. Unquote. Unquote. Argos interrupted, its voice calm but serious. Captain, I recommend initiating protocols for gradual reintegration with human systems. Sudden appearance of the Aurora's pride could provoke panic, speculation, or worse. I can assist in transmitting controlled data streams to scientific authorities to prepare them. Rowan considered the AI's advice. Do it. We bring the ship home, but carefully. Humanity must be ready, not shocked. As the Aurora's Pride approached the human systems, sensors picked up unusual activity. Fleets of patrol ships, long-range observation satellites, and research vessels converged near the outer edges of the colonies. Communications came quickly. A mix of curiosity, alarm, and disbelief. "Captain Rowan," a voice hailed him over secure channels. "We are receiving multiple reports of a freighter matching the lost Aurora's Pride. All attempts to communicate have failed. Please identify yourself and your intentions." Rowan tapped his comm console. "This is Captain Elias Rowan of the exploration vessel Horizon. We are escorting the Aurora's Pride, a human freighter lost 3 centuries ago. She is intact, operational, and returning under our supervision. No threat is intended. We request permission to dock and report." The voice on the other end was stunned. 300 years. Intact? Understood, Captain Rowan. You are cleared for controlled docking procedures. All authorities will be prepared. Rowan exhaled slowly. Humanity was ready. They had watched centuries pass, documented history, and yet the present moment was unlike anything before. The Aurora's Pride glided toward the orbital station, its hull gleaming, systems flawless, and the temporal core glowing softly as if aware of its triumph. As they docked, the docking clamps engaged with precise synchronization. Rowan and his team entered the station, greeted by a mix of scientists, historians, and military officials. Their faces were a mixture of awe and disbelief. The Aurora's Pride was pristine, untouched by time, and its story could not be denied. Dr. Venn stepped forward, her voice steady. "Ladies and gentlemen, what you see before you is more than a ship. It is a testament to human curiosity, courage, and endurance. It is proof that humanity can overcome time itself, survive the impossible, and thrive in the face of uncertainty." Scientists rushed to the freighter, scanning, recording, and examining every system. Advanced technologies, long lost, or never before understood, were revealed. Energy systems, temporal preservation fields, and data archives, containing centuries-old knowledge, were meticulously catalogued. Rowan observed quietly, knowing that every discovery had the potential to reshape the future. Yet, amidst the excitement, Rowan and his team noticed subtle patterns. The ship seemed to respond to human presence still, pulsing with energy in recognition of curiosity, careful study, and respect. Its temporal core was no longer merely a system. It was a symbol of humanity's potential alive, in a way that technology rarely achieved. Dr. Venn approached Rowan, holding a tablet displaying the decoded logs from the original crew. "Captain, these records, they are extraordinary. They contain strategies, explorations, personal reflections, and lessons that span centuries. Humanity has lost much, but this ship returns to teach and guide." Rowan nodded. "And it is up to us to honor that guidance, to ensure knowledge is used wisely. This ship is more than history, it is our legacy." Days passed, and humanity slowly absorbed the revelations of the Aurora's Pride. Educational programs were launched, research teams trained, and careful experiments conducted to replicate the technology without risk. Citizens marveled at the recovered human achievements, inspired by the courage and ingenuity of their ancestors. Yet Rowan knew the true value of the freighter was not only in its systems or archives, it was in what it represented: human spirit, resilience, and curiosity. It reminded people that even in the face of impossible odds, humanity could endure, learn, and grow. One evening, Rowan walked through the freighter's corridors, alone except for Argos. The hum of the temporal core resonated softly, as if acknowledging his presence. He paused near the chamber where the alien contact had occurred. Memories of the first encounter, the pulsing lights, the exchange of understanding, the visions of humanity's resilience flashed in his mind. "We survived because we dared to explore," he murmured to himself. "Because we faced the unknown with courage, curiosity, and hope." Argos replied softly, "Captain, the ship and its core are now stable in human space. Its knowledge will remain preserved, accessible, and safe." It has fulfilled its primary purpose, to connect humanity with wisdom beyond our era. Rowan smiled faintly. And we have fulfilled our duty to learn, respect, and carry forward that wisdom. Back in the docking station, Dr. Venn addressed a group of young researchers. The Aurora's pride teaches us more than technology. It teaches us about ourselves. Curiosity, bravery, compassion. These are the qualities that have allowed humanity to survive and thrive. This ship returned because it recognized those qualities. And now, we must carry them into the future. The freighter became a living museum and a research hub, attracting scholars and explorers from across human colonies. Its technology accelerated advancements in energy, space travel, and temporal studies. Humanity began to explore previously unreachable regions of space, armed with knowledge, courage, and inspiration from a ship that had defied time itself. Rowan remained vigilant, ensuring that the lessons of the Aurora's pride were respected. He often reflected on the journey, the discovery, the strange temporal anomalies, the alien encounter, and the realization that humanity was capable of more than they had ever imagined. One evening, he walked to the observation deck, staring at the stars. "We were tested," he said quietly, "and we passed. Not by force, not by conquest, but by curiosity, courage, and understanding. That is who we are. That is why this ship returned." Dr. Venn joined him. "And now it's our turn to show the universe who we are. To explore, to learn, to endure." Rowan nodded. "Yes, and we will. For the past, for the present, and for the future. Humanity will never stop reaching for the stars. And this ship, our lost treasure, our guide, will always remind us of that." The Aurora's pride pulsed softly, as if in agreement, its lights reflecting against the walls of the observation deck. The once lost ship had returned not only intact, but alive with purpose, carrying with it centuries of lessons, courage, and inspiration. It was more than a vessel. It was proof of humanity's enduring spirit, a reminder that even in the vast, unknowable universe, human curiosity, ingenuity, and bravery could leave an unbroken mark. Across the human colonies, people looked to the stars with renewed hope and determination. Humanity had been tested by time, by loss, and by the unknown. And yet, they endured. They adapted. They learned. And they would continue to do so, guided by the lessons of a ship that had been lost for centuries, yet returned spotless and new, a beacon of human potential in an infinite universe. Captain Rowan stood silently, feeling the weight of the moment. History had reached forward to touch the present, and the present would carry humanity into the future. The Aurora's pride had returned, not just as a ship, but as a symbol. Lost, yet found. Broken, yet whole. Past, yet timeless. Rowan knew one thing with certainty. Humanity would never forget this moment. And the universe, vast and mysterious as it was, had just begun to witness what humans could achieve. The freighter rested peacefully, ready to guide, teach, and inspire for generations to come. And humanity, inspired by its return, stepped boldly into the future, carrying courage, curiosity, and hope into every star they reached. Because the human spirit, once tested, never faltered. Because even when lost, humans could always find their way home.